right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. If you guys don't know me yet, hello and welcome to our interview. I am actually a former pharmacist turned six-figure calligrapher, and I have made it my mission to really help calligraphers build, create, automate, and scale their calligraphy businesses based on their unique story and methodology. Since I started my business in 2017, I've made countless mistakes and wasted so much time and money in the process. And after working with dream brands like Dior, NBC, Ferrari, I'm honestly on a major mission to help calligraphy entrepreneurs work with their dream brands and accelerate their path to success as well. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel because this is where it's going to be replayed on so that we can continue to make educational videos just like this. So this is the incredible story of Tammy, who used our methodology to transform her calligraphy business from having no direction and no profit to now having a clear idea about her thriving business and ideal client. She's now her own boss. She's left behind multiple careers and is now starting her new chapter in so many ways. So Tammy actually joined in June of 2022, and she's gone through so many transformations in less than a year, and I'm so excited to dive into that. She's been able to work for amazing, notable brands like Tinder, Bloomingdale's, Jo Malone, Diptyque, Prada, then the list goes on. And Tammy and I actually did go live back in August of 2022 when she just quit her full-time job to do a part-time in a bakery and her own business as well. Fast forward to today, she's quit the bakery and she's now working on herself and her business full-time. So Tammy, catch us up to what you've been up to since our last interview.
Well, yes, I'm Tammy of Ink Innuendos. I specialize in calligraphy, engraving, and bottle painting. I mostly do live events, but still open for commissions. But man, live events, guys, the way to go. And it would not have been possible without TCA for sure. But a lot has happened between our last call, and I feel like that was like my baby or toddler stage because I was so unsure of myself. Since joining and really applying the Craft Academy lessons into my practice every single day, I've made a whirlwind of changes and improvement in my business. So I will often tell other TCA members, I just feel like now I wake up every day and I have this pinch me moment because things are actually happening, and they've been happening for the last 4 months. So it really just goes to show, just put in that time, put in that work, invest in yourself. And now I'm living proof of what could be possible. And me looking up to you and other artists thinking I'll never get there. Oh, that's a thing of the past. So I'm glad that I don't think like that anymore.
Oh my gosh, isn't that so crazy that you put other business owners on a pedestal and you're I'll get there one day, but it seems so far away. Now, what kind of helped that mind shift for you?
Honestly, one of the things that really hit me was in your very first module in the Craft Academy, you go over mindset shift, change for that. And I think that was so cool that you made sure that was the priority, that's what you wanted to establish for all of us, because you have been there already. So for all of us artists who are either starting out or doesn't matter what phase you're in, we get that imposter syndrome, lack of confidence. We compare ourselves, right? It's the comparison game. And honestly, working through knowing and hearing your message to us, hey, be our own cheerleader, know our self-worth and value, and stop comparing ourselves, and instead use that as fuel and motivation to better ourselves and just keep working on it, right? We don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing. And I think because we preach that in every single coaching call, it's seriously been therapeutic for me because I am someone that lacks so much confidence or have lacked so much confidence. And so now preaching that every day, practicing that and having those affirmations, it has really helped change my mindset.
That honestly is so mind-blowing to me because I look at you today and I see how much you've grown. And honestly, if I had just met you today, I would have never known that you had any kind of imposter syndrome or lack of confidence at all, because the stuff that you're putting out is so beautiful. And like, you are so empowering to the newer artists that are coming in every single day. So like, when I see that and hear that, I'm like, it's so mind-blowing to me to like see that progress, you know?
Thank you. I think that you and all of the community of the Craft Academy really help with that, right? Because put yourself into this bucket, right? Or into this mold, and you think you can't expand further out from there. But it's like, I have the encouragement and the support and the love from all of you guys. And it's like, oh yeah, I am good, you know, and I have knowledge to share. So it's definitely like something that helped me like go past what I thought, or like handcuffing myself.
Being an entrepreneur, it all starts with your mindset. And I feel like as an entrepreneur, you really do have to work really hard to be like the foundation and the pillar of your business. Because if you are not confident in yourself, then your business is not going to exude confidence either. So like, it really does start from the inner workings of your business and your mind, and just making sure that you are ready to be that CEO and to have a business that is going to thrive because you have a great foundation for yourself. For anyone else who has not watched the interview from August yet, I highly recommend that you do. Tammy, do you want to give like a quick summary of like what it's been like from the moment you joined the Craft Academy up until like January when you quit?
So when I joined the Craft Academy, initially it was tough to invest my time in it because I was still working full-time, or like more than full-time. When I transitioned into my part-time job, it was like peak wedding season, so it kind of became full-time, so that's why I'm saying that. So I yet again put my business on the back burner, which was the last thing I wanted to do. Fast forward, there was a break in between in December going into January, and I kind of really reevaluated where I was mentally again, and just where I was with my business. And though I had a successful fourth quarter through the Craft Academy referrals, through the methodology from pitching myself, and the pitching works, okay? So like, through all that success, I was still unhappy because I was showing up and commuting in 2 hours of traffic every day to yet again, like helping build someone else's dreams and goals. And I was like, if I had a successful fourth quarter, what can the rest of my year look like? And I started picturing, if I actually put in all my time, I would be even more successful. And so at that point, you know, I went back and forth with my husband, and we're like, okay, well, I've proven to myself I could do it working on my business more so part-time. If I went full-time, I got to be able to do it, right? And now I have TCA to really like be a good backbone for me. And so after I left the bakery, I gave it my all. I started going back through all the modules again. I started module 1, right? And I was like hyping myself up, and you're like hyping me through the videos, you know? I'm just like, all right, I got this. And seriously, before my eyes, I've seriously been booking 3 to 4 events every single month since February. And I'm just mind blown about it because I didn't think that that was going to be possible just yet. I knew it was going to come, but I didn't know it was going to be that quick. But I really applied myself. And so now I'm fully booked for May and every weekend.
Yay. And these are like 3-day in a row weekends, right? It's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And can you give the audience an idea of what your income is like for each of those days?
Sure. Well, based off of a single event, I'm making between, just depending on the brands, but I'm making between like $750 to $800 right now. Throughout May, I'm projected for $6,000, and yeah, that's what I have contracted so far. So,
oh my God, that's insane. 6,000 in 1 month for May. That's amazing. Can you give an idea of like what your business was, like what your revenue was like before you joined the Craft Academy, like what your business looked like before?
Yeah, before I joined, I mean, during the holidays, that's always better for all of us, right? So it's skewed. But during the holiday season, I would make maybe a couple grand a month, like October, November, December. But before that, it'd be like onesie, twosie jobs, and I would make maybe $200 a month.
Yeah.
So it's been
That's crazy, you guys. So like just to sum it up into one big picture, prior to the Craft Academy, she was averaging maybe $200 a month during the holidays. Of course, it's, a couple grand, which is like typical even for kind of beginner calligraphers. But now in May of 2023, 10 months into the program, she's going to be making $6,000 in 1 month, which is absolutely insane. It's like 4 figures as a calligrapher for me before used to be so out of reach. And now like we have Tammy doing 6,000 in 1 month, like after quitting, you guys, like that is so mind blowing to me and it's so incredible. And I think that really just gives you an idea of like how hard Tammy has worked and how well the program works for all calligraphers. So congratulations, Tammy. I'm like so happy for you. Like round of applause for Tammy.
Thank you. And I will admit, like before when I left my job, I really shot or aimed lower. And I was thinking like, if I can make at least like 2 to 3 grand, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Aim higher, guys. Aim higher.
Yes, I love that. Yes, I think that's one of the things that we do in our like initial conversation. We call it like the complimentary coaching call. We really get people to like figure out what they want their income projection to be. And then after that, we'll get them to aim higher because there's always a higher marker to reach. And that is just awesome. And like to see other calligraphers do that, that gives you even more hope that you can do it as well. So I'm telling you guys, like if Tammy can do it, so can you. And she is just incredible. So let's kind of go to January. So between August and January, you were working for a bakery, which ended up like was initially supposed to be part-time, ended up being full-time because of the wedding season and the holidays and things like that. What was like the thing that made you decide to pursue your calligraphy career full-time? And was there any like mindset issues that you had to overcome during that time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think during the holidays, it's the craziest time. And I was comparing myself and I was thinking like, oh, like all these other students in TCA, they're like thriving, they're booking left and right, they have jobs to give away. And I was like, oh, I'm not there. But honestly, like I was able to overcome that and think to myself like, okay, I'm not there. So what am I gonna do? And this is one of the magical things about TCA was that being referred by other artists, right? So I was getting leads as a referral from other TCA members, which is just, to me, was unheard of before I joined, like sharing leads. And then because I was able to successfully pitch just like a couple times, because it doesn't happen, I get ghosted most of the time. So because I was able to actually acquire a few live events and up my pricing to price more, appropriately and to industry standards, I was actually making more than I thought I would make and booking more events than I thought I would book. And so from that, I turned that comparison into like that fuel that I was saying to get me off my butt. And I was like, okay, well, I'm able to do it now. And so I don't want to not have energy to work on my business at the end of the day when I'm coming home from work. And so I started becoming unhappy again and unfulfilled because I wasn't staying in my lane on what I had set out to do. So to me, I was like, I broke my promise to myself, and I started my business back in 2015 when I got engaged. So it's like, I already waited those many years. Like, why am I going to put it off any longer? So that was this light bulb moment to me, like, okay, let's do it for real this time. Like, no more safety net for sure.
Yeah. And do you feel like removing that safety net really sparked that fire under your butt to like actually do the thing you set out to do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I deep dove into like all the TCA learnings. And I really, what's another thing I really think artists or people need to understand is that you want to make sure you foster that community. It will give back to you, but building those genuine connections help you so much. I have other artists referring to me because they like trust me, believe in me, whatever that might be. And it's because those genuine connections I've made. And guess what? I'm happy to be in that place where I'm able to share events with others. Like that to me, when you were doing it, I was like, I'm never going to be in Rosie's position. I'm never going to be able to get there. And I'm like, I'm able to do that now. And it's so give back.
And then this is kind of like in the workings, behind the scenes. We're not allowed to kind of share yet because the event hasn't happened, but Tammy is working with an incredible brand. Literally, you guys all have heard of it. It's honestly everywhere. We can't disclose the brand yet because it hasn't happened yet, but Tammy is actually helping events across the US. I want to say in like 15 different locations across the US. And she's basically like hiring out calligraphers in TCA all over. So like, that's honestly, yes, another round of applause for Tammy. So like, and you guys, not that long ago, she was thinking to herself, this is impossible for me. Fast forward 10 months and look at her now. It's insane. I love it.
Thank you.
So yes, lots and lots of like mindset things that we had to overcome. This was not an easy decision for her. Tammy and I talked a lot in January when she was, debating on whether she wanted to go full time or like, kind of like setting a goal for her, and to see her thrive right now just like makes my heart so happy. Okay, so let's kind of like fast forward or like do another catch up. So like January, you quit your part-time job. Now you're doing Ink Innuendos full time. What like started that snowball for you? What do you feel has like made you very successful at this point?
Putting into practice, investing my time into like what steps I need to actually take to achieve my goals. Before I left my job, I really set out like what I needed to do or what I needed to make each month to be sustainable, right? And so I went through and I was like, okay, like my goal is to book like 2 to 3 events per month to start off with. And I'm gonna go through the modules like one by one and put into practice. What do I need to do? I need to start with like revising my contracts to make sure they're all like, 100%. I need to see and create my list of clients that I want to target, like my ideal clients. So I really just planned out exactly what I wanted to do, and to not get myself overwhelmed, because it does happen time to time, like go through and just give myself little objectives to reach my goal through your modules. And like I'll set out like Tuesday, Wednesdays, that's when I'm going to pitch, and I'm going to pitch to like 5 to 10 brands on this day. And then like I'm going to work on like Thursdays on my contracts or so on and so forth. So I just really needed to build that structure for myself. And I think through like your teachings, that really helped me, because I thrive on structure. So that was something that I didn't have before and was always like an excuse to myself. I'm like, well, I could just put it off. But now I was like, there was this like narrow path and I can follow it. I know where I'm going. I have this direction. So that's what really like helped me say, okay, I can do it.
I love that. And I think in the previous interview, you also said that TCA gave you the confidence to quit your full-time job in the first place. And then now, again, it's helping you again and again. And what's awesome about the Craft Academy is that it is a lifetime membership. So like, no matter what happens, we're still going to be there for you, because things change. Your life changes. People have kids, they have big life events like weddings or, things like that, where like sometimes the business has to go on a back burner, right? But like the joy of being a lifetime membership is that we are there for you when you decide to come back. So you don't have to feel that pressure of like, I have to do this right here, right now, and I get it all done, because that just puts a lot more pressure on you that might create a more toxic like relationship with your business. So for us, we really thrive on creating a sustainable business. And that is the reason why we're doing so well, is because we focus on sustainability, not just like putting all this work in and then burning out really fast and then hating your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you bring up sustainability, because it's like, we don't want to just be successful during fourth quarter, during the holidays, because that's easy for everybody, right? Like when I looked into TCA, it was between TCA and another program. And I cannot tell you how happy I am that I chose TCA. And the differentiating factors, and there's many, but it's because it was lifetime membership. So I don't get kicked out after like 6 weeks or a year or so, right? And it's not just a snapshot of information in one time, which becomes irrelevant after a year. Like you keep up with TCA. Well, one, everybody's business because you chat with everybody, and that's insane to me, especially since you're planning your wedding next month. Like you take time to coach So other people will advertise that they're coaches, but they don't actually do one-on-one coaching. They don't actually bring that to the table. And so you also update with different modules. Like you just came out with an engraving cheat sheet for everybody, but you've already done videos for that during the holiday season when everybody needed that. And you've also done modules to help business planning. Like who does that? You know, like you truly help business sustainability. It's not just to get you 1 or 2 events right now, so you're on this high and what we know as feast and famine, right? So you're happy, you feast on all these events you're getting right now, and then you like famine out because now you're not getting anything. Mm-hmm. But with TCA, you get the tools to keep that going. So
yeah, exactly. And we do have multiple phases in the program as well. Obviously, we start off with building your business, really focusing on the main like 1 to 2 niches that you want to focus on. And once you build that part of your business up, then you kind of graduate and build multiple forms of income. So like we take you step by step. We're not just throwing all this information at you so you get overwhelmed and just quit entirely and just lay on the couch and do nothing. You know, we really do help you start and build a really good foundation so that everything that you add onto your business will continue to be sustainable and to pay you back for the time that you're putting into it. And, you know, we have over 130 calligraphers in the program now, and everyone is doing amazingly well. Everyone has different stages in their business. We've got people who are older, who are ready to retire with their calligraphy business. We've got people who are younger, who are just starting out, and people who have kids. And, you know, we've got people from all over the world at different stages of life. And everyone succeeds in the business because we give that personalized advice, because we start with your foundations. And that just goes to show that the program is super strong and it really, really does work. So if you guys have not heard about the Craft Academy, obviously you have now. If you guys want to apply for the Craft Academy and experience this transformation for yourself, just go to wandercrafter.com/apply and book a call with us. It's going to be with me or Tammy. And we'll talk about your business. If you want to hear more about the program and experiences and stuff, that's the perfect time to do it. Okay. So Tammy, tell us what you're up to now, because you've had so many different transformations in the business. What is on the queue for Ink Innuendos?
So I've been doing still a lot of live events, and it's all across the board. So it's calligraphy, engraving, and bottle painting right now. But as you mentioned, diversifying or creating multiple streams of income. I used to think that I wouldn't teach until way down the line, but I was offered an opportunity to host a couple workshops. So I'm actually creating my curriculum right now. My workshops will be at the end of May. So that's going to be something cool to add under my belt. Yes. And I've always loved sharing tips, tricks, advice, and everything like that, because I just genuinely love what I do. So it's going to be great to be able to do it in person.
Yeah. And when are those classes so that people can put that onto their calendars?
Yes, if you want to learn, I'm doing brush pen calligraphy for beginners, and that's going to be May 28th, Sunday, May 28th. And I have 2 classes, 11 to 1 and 2 to 4 in Costa Mesa.
Perfect. And then I will drop her handle and website because she just launched her website.
You guys, TCA helped me launch my website after 4 years.
I love it.
On that note, wasted over $1,000 on my domain hosting, never launched my website in the last 4 years, and finally had this straight shot of how to build your SEO, which is something I didn't know before, and also just creating your website and what's necessary, or the essential information and whatnot. So yeah, I was able to publish. Haven't published, but here we go.
Yes, congratulations. She finally published inkinnuendos.com. I will drop that into the description below as well. She'll have her classes listed on there. And then obviously you can reach out to her on Instagram as well. She is very personable. She shares a load of information on all of her posts and things like that. So definitely check her out. She is a wealth of information. Oh yeah. And then one more thing I wanted to know about that is Tammy just launched her website literally this week, you guys. She has been able to book all of these events without a website, purely just from pitching and networking and the Craft Academy connections. So if she can do it, that means that you can too. So don't feel like your website is the one thing that's going to hold you back from booking events. The website, like I feel like I say this a lot, but the website is like the number one thing that gets you new clients and really puts you out there once you start ranking on Google. But that being said, it's not 100% necessary, but I do recommend it as much as possible. And I have no doubt now that like Tammy has put everything on autopilot. She's got a myriad of clients now. She now has her website. She's going to start getting new, cooler, even better clients on her roster as well. So this is just the beginning for Tammy's business. She's not going to burn out. You know, we have sustainability in place and in mind. So she's going to do amazing. I'm really excited for her. Okay. So for everyone listening, I always talk about tactical advice in our interviews. What is like the one piece of advice that you would recommend for someone who is like just starting out their business or wants to scale it?
I think before I joined the Craft Academy, it was hard to admit that I needed help, that I needed more guidance. And if anyone's listening that's just like me, where I always felt like I DIY everything, I'm gonna figure it out on my own, and someone who never really invested anything in myself or business, it's okay to admit that you need that help, that you need that push, you need that accountability partner. And we have 130 accountability partners in TCA, right? It's okay to be open, honest, vulnerable about where you are with your business. If you're not happy with it, what are you gonna do with it? Like, you wanna start making changes. If you wanna start seeing changes, then do something about it. Invest in yourself, invest obviously in the Craft Academy, because it is an accelerator. The TCA magic is real. And I'm living proof. I was literally at nowhere a year ago. So that's my advice.
Yeah, you guys, $200 a month to $6,000 in a month in less than a year. Like, that is insane to me. So if you guys have not invested in yourself, I highly encourage you to do so. Even if you don't invest in the Craft Academy today, Tammy, what other investments have you made that have like built up your business to where it is now?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I invested in engraving, right? So my tools for engraving, my tools for bottle painting, thanks to one of our TCA members, Michelle Clement from Juniper Calligraphy, who was just featured in New York Weekly, by the way. So,
yes.
And so that's one of my inspirational role models as well. But these are the investments that I've made to make sure that my business is growing and profitable, because I'm able to offer these areas, these niches, and combine them all to be able to speak to my brand still. And people know that's my painting, that's my engraving, that's my calligraphy. It's hard to stay away from squirrel syndrome, but really stay true to yourself. And like, you don't have to invest in everything all at once. You can take it step by step and just know what you want to do and keep within that.
Yes, I love that. That's perfect advice. If there's one thing that you would recommend people investing in, what would that be?
Well, I mean, it might be a little obvious now, but honestly, the Craft Academy, game changer. And I tell myself this all the time. I'm so mad I didn't start sooner, because I delayed the success of my business. I delayed my own happiness. I delayed my mental health and well-being for so long because I was holding myself back. I didn't admit to myself that I needed guidance, that I needed a community. And that community from the Craft Academy is so immense. Like, I can't believe that's something that I didn't know I needed until I was introduced to it. Definitely invest in yourself, in your business. No one regrets investing in yourself. And if you're like me and you hadn't done it before, this is the best decision I've ever made. And literally, look at me now.
Yes. And honestly, it's like still surreal to me to see how much you've grown, and you continue to pay back to the community every single day. You share so much knowledge and information of everything you've learned, and you're so generous. So, you know, this to me is kind of like the ripple effect of what I'm doing as a coach, is like continuing to inspire the next generation of calligraphers and really make this a global phenomenon. And you are one of those things that continue to add to that as well. And I'm honestly so happy to have you in the program, to, you know, be your mentor and to help you grow every single day.
I just want to add to, like, for those who believe it's a saturated market, I used to think like that. But honestly, like, community over competition, you guys. I feel like even now, with like such high demand for live or in studio, like engraving, calligraphy, bottle painting, wood burning, heat foiling, like, there are so many opportunities for all of us. Like with this, renowned brand that I'm working with now, I don't even have enough artists to refer. And that's crazy. The demand is out there. So
100%. And then Tammy and I are located in generally the same area. So we do, technically we are a competition, but at the same time, we're both thriving in the LA area. And so I think we have like 40 people in LA, and we're literally all booked, which is insane, right? So like there's so many opportunities out there. You just have to like be able to put yourself out there, take the risk on yourself, and take a chance on yourself. You never know what's going to happen. And, we've been talking about mindset this whole time. And the whole like market being oversaturated, that's another mindset thing that you have to overcome, right? So like you really do, like we say, work on your mindset from the very beginning so that your business has a good foundation to build upon. I think the last question for you before we hop off is, what advice would you give to your past self when you started in 2018? What would you tell your past self knowing what you know now?
I would tell myself, stop making excuses. I would tell myself, stop wasting like time and money and just really invest in myself, because at the end of the day, like, if I'm going out and I'm working towards everyone else's goals or so, then that's a day shorter than working on my own stuff, right? So yeah, I would definitely tell myself, get it together, like admit it to yourself, like you got to make this move to like actually see change.
Yeah. And Tammy's actually, I don't want to say waste, but she did spend a lot of time trying to build her business on her own. And it wasn't until 2022 when she invested in the business that it really started to take off. So that is a really wise piece of advice, is to really, why waste time? Why waste money? If you can spend a little bit of money and invest in yourself and really get the keys to the castle much sooner than having to wait 5 years to even reach success. That's a huge, imagine if this program was, built 5 years ago and you joined it right away, imagine where you would be now. We like to say the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, but the next best time to plant a tree is today. So honestly, don't wait. Honestly, so proud of you. So happy that you've reached this success. It's insane.
I do still aspire to, reach your level, right? But it's just crazy that I didn't think I would come close to where you are a year ago, a pinch me moment,
Yeah. And honestly, I share so much information because I am aware that this is not something that I can do forever. And if I can share that knowledge and continue to grow the artistry through the Craft Academy, through engraving lessons and YouTube videos, then that means I'm doing it right. And I'm really leaving a legacy beyond what I am just doing on a day-to-day basis.
Well, you absolutely are. I think just with the TCA community alone, of what you've curated and what we fostered together as a group, we have, it's so isolating doing it on your own. Right. Mm-hmm. And out in the real world, not everybody wants to share that information. And so it's crazy how open and vulnerable, it's not all wins, but there's lessons learned, and that's where we take that into consideration and grow together. So
yeah, exactly. And, with these interviews, we do tactical pieces of advice from everyone that we interview. We do the same thing in the community. So when you have a hashtag win, we'll also have you post lessons learned as well so that people can learn. One of the top questions that I always get when someone books an awesome event, like Ferrari, for example, people always ask, how did you get it? How did you get that opportunity? What networking did you do? Who did you pitch to? And we share all of that information, right? So it's all that knowledge, it's all there. You just have to find it and really put yourself out there and take a chance again on yourself, and don't feel like you have to do everything alone. The community is here for you. Tammy, tell us where we can find you.
So you can follow me on Instagram at Ink Innuendos, and then on my newly published website, inkinnuendos.com. Those are my two main areas right now. And then if you follow me on Instagram, I will be posting my upcoming events, so you can try to catch me in May.
Also, I just noticed we have matching nails.
Nice.
I love it. We're on point here. We got the iridescent theme. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys haven't already. Head over to wandercrafter.com/apply to sign up for a complimentary coaching call with either me or Tammy. And then we will see you in the next video. Thanks everybody.
Thank you everyone.
Bye.